Oh, flipping heck. Just as well I didn't use a naughty word then, I think. Cool. Right, that's that. Okay. Let's just wait and see who comes in. We're coming on live just a little bit early. Just makes life easier. Good evening, Imrina. Welcome to the live. Hello, Sue. Welcome. I'm assuming that you can hear me without any problems. I can see that I'm live, so I'm hoping that's all okay. Hello, Juliana. Welcome, my darling. It's lovely to see everyone this evening. We're just going to wait for all the time to click around a wee bit because it's not quite 6 o'clock. Hello, Connie. Thank you for joining us this evening. So just a little bit of housekeeping. My name's Gill. I am one of Pentacolor Kft team. I'm based in Manchester, England, and I do all sorts of things with paper and mixed media products. If you can see the red oval at the top left of your screen, then I am live as you are watching, and hopefully you'll make a comment so that I know that you're here. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, and hopefully then I will know that you've been into view. Good evening, Isabel. Hello, Sheila. Now, it's the 5th of November, and in the UK, that means it is bonfire night, or the night we remember when the plot to storm the Houses of Parliament by Guy Fawkes was stalled. We celebrate this day with lots of fireworks, and they have started really early. So if you hear lots of pops and bangs, then I apologise, but there's nothing much I can do about that because it looks like the neighbourhood have decided they'll start their bonfire night parties and shenanigans in early this evening as opposed to after tea near 7:30, 8 o'clock. But hey ho, such is life. Good evening, Sheila. Hello, Josephine. So, anyway, we've got a number of you coming in. I have a fabric album which has fabric inserts and also some plastic inserts like these with her. And I did a live with some of the inserts the other day on my own page. And my plan for this evening, because it's such a big project, is actually to decorate the outside of the cover, because it's just way too big a project. So let me first of all tuck that little lot somewhere safe out of the way. But I chose this base because because of its colour being so neutral, and because I thought that it would therefore work for the old lace papers that come in with that Stampy released recently. And we might have just a wee bit of a headache ahead of us this evening, but I'm going to do my absolute best to manage. And that the headache is because of the texture on the spine. But I'm sure if we do the two sides separately, then we will get there. So this is just a detail stencil, Be Yourself. I think it comes from the Old Lace collection. It's got lots of damask type borders in it. And we're just going to do a little bit of stenciling, and I have chosen tonight to work with the creamy metallics, and also to some extent I'm going to work with some of the Decor Paint chalkies as well. So I like these because they are, as the name would imply, nice and thick and creamy. So we're just going to have a little bit of a pouncing session. I'm going to do quite a lot of work on here and build my border. So it's not, there we are. Let's just keep those two separate. I'll get rid of most of that. And then let's just pop this in. So we have a mix of different things. I won't actually need masses of it down in that corner because of my plan. There we are. Let's just pop that into there. I'm pouncing through, mixing the colours as I go, which of course we all know is something that actually I do a lot of when I'm doing my makes. Great believer in colour mixing as we go. So that can go on there. That's looking rather pretty. And let's just have, yeah, oh, she says, well, that will do because you can see how textured it is. So let's just move that up and over. And that actually won't matter because it's just going to add some more detail to the mix. We might end up with a bit of fun around some of this shenaniganing, but that's okay. So let's just take advantage of that oopsie moment. Hi, Elizabeth. Good evening, darling. And let's just deliberately have a little bit of smushing of that onto there so it's not an even temp thing. And there we are. We can add some over the top. And we're just adding just a little bit of age distressing. Really simple, not difficult. Now I'm going to have to clean my mucky, icky, stat hands. And right, let's just, excuse me, let's clean my hands. That's going to turn that around. I just have to remember that that is the top of the book. And that's fine. So we're going to do this and deliberately. Yeah. We want that on that side. So let's just do that. Let's just pop that onto there. Oops, daisy. There we are. Pop that into there. And as I say, we'll carry on. Pounce that through. I like the fact that there are two patterns on this mix, so it gives me options. So let's just pop a little bit more of that beautiful hazelnut brown out. So Pentart have recently re-released these in a size smaller tube. So there's lots of options for this one. There we are. The key to this is to not have your stencil moving. Up and down is fine, side to side is most definitely not. Oops, sorry darling, that's so hopefully the fireworks are currently a bit quieter than they were. So let's just pop that back over, and then we can add again some of that mushiness just to distress it all a little bit. So let me pop that over there. Let me grab a light to pop this down because I am going to reuse this in a minute. So that can go there. Right. Alright. Okay. So let's just now give this a bit of a clean. So you could, of course, wipe this onto a onto a piece of paper. That would work quite nicely. So we're just going to do the outside cover tonight because it's going to be a little bit of learning, and actually that will be quite big enough as a project. Yucky, icky, icky, sticky. Let's get these clean. Hi, Crafty Jacks. Yes, Sue, I'm really sorry, but I can't do anything about it because someone has decided to get the loudest noises, and they have been going off now for about an hour. So next year, just mind, hopefully it won't be a Tuesday next year, and we just have to deal with these things, don't we? There we are. Hopefully we've got rid of most of that off that rather lovely damask stencil. We can lift that up. Right, let's turn that over. And let's just get rid of anything that might have squidged through the back. There we are. Let's just. So I've got a mat under here to stop it shining through. Well, that's clever, woman. Okay, try and look everything that you need for the next bit on the floor. Why not? Why not? Why not? Right, eeny meeny. Good. So there we are. Right, so we're going to give that a wee bit of a blast dry. Yep, we know that feeling. Both Diwali and Bonfire Night. It's not a good combination. Good evening, Liz, Barton, my darling. Hello, Judith. So we've got creamy acrylics in the ochre brown and the hazelnut brown through the stencil from the old lace collection. And then I've flipped it over just to add some grunginess to the background. So hopefully that will work. And I'm working on a fabric cover. This is just a canvas loose leaf folder, really. And so it's never going to be entirely pristine, and purely because of that. And then we're going to have, right, okay, so we're now going to hopefully line up that. That has to be the right way round. Yes, okay. So let's get that lined. Okay, cool. And I'm going to go up and to the right. And I'm going to do something different to what I did on my live the other day. And I might have to do the back pieces off the live, but that's okay. So that is just some modelling paste coming through here. Joy. It is very noisy. I apologise. There's nothing I can do about it. I might have to do this in sections. That piece is going to get covered. Some of that bottom will be on display. That piece will definitely be on display. The joy of mixed media is you build up your layers and then you promptly cover half of them, don't you? But hey ho, there we are. Let me pop that over there. And I have some embossing powder. So this is aged ivory. So it's a mixture of white and a bit of gold all mixed in. So custom mixture owned Stamperia, which Pentacolor sell, have this, and I'm just using the embossing powder to hold it in place. There we are. Why not? nothing better than using a piece of paper, is there? That's beautiful. There we are. Some of that is stuck on the paint as well because it wasn't fully dry, but hey ho, such be life. We will see what we get. It will be pretty regardless. So if you want to see more of the stenciling underneath, then I think you probably need to make sure it's properly dry before you do that. Good evening, Julie. Hello, Julie Rankin. There's two Julies that have popped in to see us. And hello, Stephanie. So I'm using my modelling paste to add some dimension to this, as well as adding some colour with the embossing powder. So it's a different technique, not one that you will see me use very often. And we now just have to be very patient. There's no need to pay for it at all. It's starting to go. And the key, of course, to embossing is to let your heat run warm up and then move over. And of course, I've got this on a wet paste, so that's all totally dry at the same time. And I can see shades around here from my brown paint, so that I get that it might not be so obvious here. And to be honest, I didn't intend it to quite cover, and it is purely that I wasn't patient enough in letting the paint dry properly and sink into the piece. So this is just going to add a little bit of shimmer into the make, and I can see that it's bubbling. I don't think you'll be able to see that it's bubbling, and that's because it's on the modelling paste. So I'm going to get a little bit more dimension than if I was just using the embossing powder with an embossing ink pad. And there is just a halo around it of the darker colour. It's nothing like having to wait, but I do need to get this dry, and then I can move it off here to cool down. Whilst everything else when I do the next bits. There we are. We're going there. I will lift it up once it's dry, once it's done. Because in the meantime, we can't actually, it's very difficult, I think, to see what's going on. Yeah. Dear, oh dear. Hello Esther, good evening darling. I'm sorry if the fireworks going off bother you. It's bonfire night and they're going off everywhere, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but okay. Not much we can do about the world around us. It's as ever slightly but mad and balmy, isn't it? So, yeah. here just a wee while. Okay. Oh dear. I'm not a great fan of fireworks going off, it has to be said. They're not my favourite activity. Yeah. We are getting to the end of nearly to the end of this bit of things that you can't see what I'm doing. Why don't you please, ladies, when I'm off screen, just feel free to give me a kick up the bottom and tell me to shift what I'm doing. Yeah. Problem is that when you're distracted because you're making, you don't always see what else is going on. That's better. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Stephanie, there might be quite a lot of them. So we have some beautiful sparkle, some depth and interest in there. I'm going to see if I can line this up. So that'll be famous last words, won't it? Be delighted. I've decided I won't do that with the modelling paste. We will do that with some cream white. Creamy acrylic. So hopefully that's just added a wee bit of extra dimension onto there. Let me just flick that round. Right. So line it up, bottom to the right. There we are. I've got very little paint on this at the moment. Hi, Margaret. There we are. So it's just going to soften that dark earthy brown, but leave little hints of it shining through. That's the whole intention. There we are. And let's see if we can line up here. Let's just move it that way. And we'll do the same rather than embossing. And then you can see the different effect, the two. On the front, it's going to give me some beautiful texture. And on the back, it will give me an illusion of 3 dimensions. There we are. And let's just now add some of that onto there. There's not much paint coming off that, and that's absolutely fine. We're just going to squash it a bit onto there. Right. Let me just put that over there. Let's get that a bit of a clean again. Otherwise, we'll lose the detail in this stencil. Hi, Sarah. Welcome, my darling. We can pop that there. So we've got quite a lot of layers of interest on here. She says, and just be careful. So I've got dried on modelling paste, but that's okay. Let's get what we can out of here, as much as we can. Fortunately, the holes on that are not so small as to be completely ruined by having some modelling paste in them. There we are. There we are. If you look after your stencils, they will last you for a long, long time. So just, it's worth taking the time. I will stick these into a bowl with a dishwasher tablet and leave them to soak overnight, and that will really help with that process. Excellent. Good. Okay. There we are. Right. So that is now our cover. So it started out as plain canvas, and we've now got stencil detailing from the pieces. There we are, which I rather quite like, and I think that's probably dry. I'm just going to pop that on the floor because we have some bits and pieces. Let's do some of the painting, because it wouldn't be me if we didn't have the odd one or two molds. So what have we got? We've got, let's have some hazelnut brown, some ivory, let's debung the ivory paint pod. There we are. Oh, it's not actually gunked up, so that's okay. Let's just pop that down. There we are, some ivory, some cream white, hazelnut, earth brown, and some gold, creamy gold. There we are. Excellent. And I'm going to pull my chair up and sit, because I've been getting quite a lot of back pain, which certainly is not what I want. So let us find an appropriate sized brush, and let's start with that. So that what's going on? So they're going to sit on something a bit like that, we think. Anyway, so let us have a little play with the colours that we're going to use. And I think I'm also going to add, because I can, a colour called Mandel, which is a Decor Paint Soft Chalky. I do have the cream white as well, which is nearer white, but I'm going to use that, I think, for dry brushing. So let us start with a nice brush, reasonable size brush, and let's just give these a little bit of an undercoat. So let's just give this, and then we can pick up the detail. So these are just rapid resin cast pieces in white. They have had a coat of gesso added, of the primer paste added to them. There we are. There's lots of detail. So these are from the Stamperia lace mould that has the mannequin and lots of different lace pieces. And I get a base coat down that we can pick out the details later on. And I've chosen all of these colours because I'm going with a monochrome mix, and it's monochrome because it's shades of brown and taupe with some white, rather than it being black and white, but that's okay. So let's see what we want into here. Let's just, again, I'm going to pop this coat all over, and then I can add in the details back afterwards. The creamy acrylics, nice thick paints, give really good coverage without getting rid of the details, but really quite useful from a coverage point of view. and a nice range of colours. But you could use other acrylics, as you've seen me paint moulds on many occasions with both the Decor paints, chalkies, and with the acrylics. I would suggest when you're doing mixed media pieces like this, you just choose the colour, go for the colours that you like and that you want for your piece, and not stress too muchly over the exact product that you're using. There we are. So this is the creamy white. So it's definitely a different shade. So let's just pop we'll have 2 and 2. I know that breaks the rules of 3, but hey ho, we've got 3 busts, so it will look different. And the mannequin, so that counts as a different piece, I think. There we are. Who's had a fall? Oh no, Sarah, and you've only just recovered from a break. I do hope you haven't done anything too nasty. That's just not what you need, my darling. Most unsettling, and definitely not what you want to be doing. There we are. And as for the fireworks, yeah, well, I definitely think they've got noisier. So much for them producing so-called silent fireworks that look pretty, but you can't, but make no sounds for our lovely pets. Yeah, I don't have any pets, but I really don't see the point in polluting the atmosphere with gunpowder or wasting my money on something that goes up in smoke. Generally, you like to keep your money and not have it go up in smoke. So let's just give those a wee little blast dry. I think that, lots of people suffer from horrendous PTSD. Good evening, Lynn. Welcome, my darling. So whilst we wait for paint to dry, because it's an interesting subject watching paint dry, isn't it? But I need to get the layers on these. Next week, what would you like? Do you want a Christmassy make? Now, just bear in mind, before you all shout no, that I am away. Don't worry, there will be people in the house. I'm not telling little tea leaves that the house will be empty. I am away from the 27th of November through to the 8th of December. And so I will not be doing a lives for Pentart from a cruise ship on a river. It's just not going to happen. I know, my bad, but it's just not going to happen. So I'm only going to be making a limited number of Christmas mates on my Pentart lives. So would you like a Christmas mate next week or an Autogo mate next week? Or shall I mix Autogo and possibly Christmas together? Thoughts in the comments, please. Whilst I get these dry and then I can move on to the next layers. There's masses and masses of detail in these moulds. It might just drive me do rally flips gathering it all, but hey ho. Yeah. Christmas mate. Okie dokie. That one for Christmas. I'm intending after I've got more planned for this album next week because I've already said that I was going to do that, but then mixed, please. Okay, that sounds good. So Christmas or a mix of Christmas, and that seems like very sensible activity. So let's just add that earthy brown. It's not going to stay this colour. There we are. Onto here. Right. We have a plum. Mix sounds good. Okie dokie. Right, I will put the head together. I think we can do both. I think we can have a nice little room scene decorated for Christmas. Be good. There we are. Okay. So that's that. So we've got a mahogany in my head, mahogany. Oh, she says, let's pop that into there. Right. Okay. So let's just take that mandel and pick out these roses. That are on here. And the joy of having the coloured undercoat means that it's not going to be such a headache if I don't get each and every one of those. There we are. So that's definitely those. Let's just add some little coordinating buttons into there. Cool. Looks rather pretty. Right. There's a nice. I might have to absolutely pick up the white in a minute. There we are. Add in the rose for the top of that. Might pick up some of that lace into there. So there's a huge amount of detail in this little mannequin mould. But you can pick out as much or as little as you want. Cool. This one is mandel. So it's a dirty brown. Oh, yeah, it's difficult to say. It's definitely a shade, got a brown undertone, but it's got also although it's not pink, it's got a hit. It's definitely got, I think, got a red base to it. There we are. Let's just pop that into there and pick up the rest of that flower. And then we'll do the underskirt, I think, in that colour as well. There we are. Okay. Cool. Right. Let's just give that a little wipe down there. And let's just pick up. Oops, I don't want the water in there. Let's pick up some of that. So let's just a little button onto there, and a little button in there in the gold, and another one there, and another one there. Let's just add a layer of gold. Make this one really decadent. Let's pop it down so I can pop. Okay. And then let's just add. We're going to add a little bit of gold lace to the top of this one. Because these can be any colour that you want, really, can't they? There we are. Julie, that's because you don't like Christmas. You're a bar humbug Christmas person. But we will be November. And as I say, yeah, gonna add I might add some wax to the detailing on here. There we are. So we've got, if I lift that up, lots of textural detail. Sorry, it's shining. There we are. And some detail added into there. So let's just, oh, she says picking up brown and messing that up. Let's add I have to clean my hairs. Yeah, I wasn't okay. I haven't bought the flower one because I thought I feel I've got enough flowers. And I didn't need any more butterflies. But there we are. Almost looks like there's some boning in there. Let's just pop that into there. Just keep the filigree a different colour. It's going to be easier for the painting. Flipping fireworks are definitely going to be a bit of a nuisance, aren't they? Let's just put that onto there. Let's just have that boned zip up the middle in the gold as well. There we are. I'm not going to make it too fiddly and finicky because life is too short. And I definitely want these to have a feminine feel rather than being too vintagey, if that makes sense. There we are. Excellent. Okie dokie. Right, let's sort out where I made a pickle of that. Not that it'll matter, but I think long term. Right, let's give these a blast run. Of course, have I got more out than I need? Absolutely, but that's okay. Let's just take some of that white, that nice clean, that cream white, and let's just make the top of that white, not ivory. There we are. Oh dear, those fireworks are going to be driving everyone in the neighbourhood absolutely mental. Oh, there we are. Little bit of lace along the top of there. Right, we're going to keep it simple. Otherwise, we could be here a very, very, very long time. Right, now then, excuse me being more than a little wasteful, ladies. This is one of the headaches with the creamy acrylics is that you squeeze them out. Having said that, they have now brought out much smaller pots, and that will, I think, mean that you squeeze out less, and therefore you waste less. Yes. I'm going to pop those off to the side. I'm not going to leave that all brown either, but it just needs to dry. So let me just pop those out of harm's way. Yeah. Whilst we do the next bit. So this is an MDF kit from Stamperia. So we're just going to do some covering of this. We might just take that mat out of the way. I'm not minded if I cut through the cardboard, but that's just a piece of brown on there. So let us just add. So I've just got paper glue. This dries clear. So let me just give a coat of this onto here. Oh dear. I did about doing some more painting on these, but then decided that life was too short. There we are. Let's just get that covered over. So I've got a covering all over. I don't want big blobs because A, it'll take forever to dry, and B, it will be lumpy. So that can go there. And I'm just going to pop that over there. Give it a little squiggle down so that can sit there. Hopefully it won't take very long to dry. This one, on the other hand, might just drive me doolally. But hey ho. Because the alternative is to take the easy way out and just paint it. What do you reckon, ladies? Paper or paint? Answers on a postcard. Paper or paint? And if so, gold paint or cream paint? Paint. Thank you, Sue. That will save me no end of heartache trying to get all of those out of there, won't it? And of course, that now means that I'm going to get more paint. But hey ho, there we are. Let's just pop that onto there. Well, I just think that you might get driven balmy with me having to get the paint out of all of the holes, which is fine. It's perfectly doable. Gold, Sarah says. Oh dear. Right, we'll have a plan. We'll do both, darling. There we are. We will do both. That's easily sorted. One is really isn't difficult to sort without all. This won't be a true colour because I haven't primed it, and that's fine because it will work in with the piece. There we are. It's definitely going to be, I think, a little bit easier to, rather than painting it, or rather than having to take out all of those pieces. There we are. Let's get rid of all of that. And let's just poke a hole through there. That's it. Okie dokie. Tiny bit of that and a scruffy brush. Littlest bit of paint. So it's subtle. It will make a difference, I promise. There we are. That complies with both requests that way. Hello, Betty. Welcome, my darling. Never you mind how long you're here for. It's appreciated that you come in at all. There we are. Okay. Cool. So that can sit there to dry. Look at the state of my hands. I don't know how the Hungarian creatives do it. She says about to fall over a jolly big wooden nutcracker. I know, don't ask. Don't ask. I'll tell you what, whilst that is out, let's just take that gold paint. There we are. So just that little bit of that gold paint dry brushed over that just makes such a difference. Brings out so much of the detail. There we are. It's definitely a scruffy brush and dabbed right back is what's required for this technique. And I've got it flat to the piece. There we are. They are beautiful. They are a Stamperia mould and they just are lovely. There we are. Excellent. Just going to add just a bit more into there. A little bit of decadence. Right, let's give that a blast dry and then we'll see whether we can dab ourselves absolutely potty in a minute. We have a plan. So I don't know that you can see all of the detail on that mould. There we are. Mind you, I take my glasses off to do the live, which is fine, because I can see, but then I can't see the screen properly. So that doesn't help with knowing what you can actually see. There we are. Okay. Let's just get that dry, because otherwise it's going to stick to here when I turn it upside down in a minute. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ow. Oh. Right, in a minute, what am I doing? I know what I'm doing. Helps to have a plan, doesn't it? So, for speed, when I can find the end, like, there we are. We're going to avoid the holes. We're just going to pop some red liner tape down there. Chop that off. Before we put the next bit onto there, I think we might just put some lacing through, because otherwise I think it might do me make it life difficult. So I just have some cord and I've put a piece through here. How do we want it laced up? Diagonally? Yeah. There we are. Let's just pop that into there. Let's just take a good long length of that. No problem, Betty. No problem, darling. Okay. See, this is always the headache whenever you start cutting things like this. So So I either put some glue on the end, or what I should have done before I cut it, let's put some tape around it. Just to hold it, the ends together, because it will make this bit easier. Yeah, to go through that hole. Because otherwise we might be here. You know, the alternative, of course, is to find a smaller piece of string. But do I have a smaller piece of string? Right, eeny, meeny, miny, pokey. Pokey, pokey, pokey. I will get it through. Honestly, I will. Or I'll go and find some actual string, because I do have string. Might be easier. There we are. Once we've got it through, we'll be okay. So, one. Two. Labour of love, not. Three. I don't know how you're meant to lace a corset, but hey ho. Who knows? As long as I have it looking laced, I do not mind the pattern. There we are. I'm jolly glad I didn't have to lace bodices. I might just hope I possibly. Spot the obvious mistake, ladies. But hey ho, we'll worry about that. At the end, we might be cheeky and leave the top one unlaced in a suggestive way. See you later, Elizabeth. There we are. Okay. Oh. Yeah, see, choose a smaller cord easier, ladies. Smaller cord, definitely. No, I definitely wouldn't have done either. There we are. Too much like hard flipping work. Mind you, I think most of the ladies who wore them actually had servants to lace themselves up with. So that makes life easy, doesn't it? So there is our obvious mistake in amongst this, because of the way that they have done it, and because of the way I've chosen to lace it, but that's fine, because that is resolvable. just, because we can pop a lace bow on the top of that to cover that. So let's just pop that there and there. Right, she says, throwing the rest of that on the floor. And now lift that off there. And I have some ecru lace. Okay, let's just pop that onto there. Yeah. Excellent. There we are. Hey, we likey. Thanking you. Very, very swish, I think. Right. Let's just get rid of that onto there. And it doesn't matter if I cut through that. So we will just now hopefully we do have files out. So yeah. Right, so let's take that off there. Let's take that from there and let's just grab a file. There we are. Let's get rid of those fluffy edges. Okay. Oh, she says losing a bra strap. Really elegant. I do apologise, ladies. Right. It's going to be easier to cover those edges with just a little bit of gold wax. It's just going to soften those edges a little bit. The brown won't matter too hugely because the whole piece as a whole has got lots of browns in it anyway. There we are. Okie dokie. So that's that one. And I do have a little bit of distressing I want to add in Vintage Photo. There we are. Again, just to heat down the edges. There we are. Okay. Right. Let's just clean that down. Hello, Elizabeth. Welcome, my darling, from the USA. I trust you are well. There we are. Okay. So, I think that piece can go onto there. I'm going to run some tape for the moment because it's going to be quicker than the gel medium. But in an ideal world, add some little pieces of chipboard into those spaces and then add your gel medium. There we are. So there we are. Excellent. Thinner cord might have been a more prudent pick apart, but that's also okay. Right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So let's just take our cover. Let's just straighten that out. And then we can find the other pieces that I want to pop onto here. There we are. Okay. So from the 12-inch paper pad, I have this piece, and you might say it's sacrilege, but I'm actually going to use that side rather than anything else. So this is just, as I say, just a little bit of vintage photo distressing, and that's why I wasn't worried about having too much down there. What have I just done with my paper glue? Wow, really? Honestly, you couldn't make it up if you tried, could you? Like, wow. Well, let's go for that one then, seeing as we can't see the in amongst this wood for the trees. Let me just lift that up. So this album is probably 7 inches by 7 inches, something like that, square with its spine. There we are. Now you could add some real lace onto here. Or you could add a paper doily. We're going to add a paper doily. I don't want it to be quite a stark white, so let me just, oh, she says, picking up some of that. I've got some of that. Just mix some of that gold paint in with my ink pad, but that's okay. So we'll add a little bit of that, and let's just add a little bit of stamping, just some text stamping, just so it's not quite as white. It won't be readable, and that's fine, but it's just another layer that's different, and that can go onto there. We'll get the text stamping reasonably straight. We don't need glue every which way, but there we are. So let's just pop that onto there. We might need to add a bit more, and then we're going to pop that there. I will add with some gel media. She says looking for a spatula that's in front of her nose. Hi, Sophie. What? That's going to go there. Right. So we want to add, well, I want to add some extra pieces onto here. So there we are. Yeah, yeah. But I want that to be more flat. So I'm going to use that corset tucked under there to help stabilize that. We will add some extra bits. There we are. That will stabilize onto there. can add. That one can go there. Oh, she says. Yeah. That can go there. Right. So, so we've got a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Let's just sort ourselves out a nice ribbon. Let's just pull that. Needs to be a bit smaller. Just make it just a wee bit smaller still. Let's just turn you in. There we are. Pop you in a little bit. Just a little bit too big. There we are. So let's add a nice little ribbon onto the top of there. We have some wooden pieces and we have some ephemera. So let me see where we're going to go. Let's just pop our pile of ephemera down onto there, hopefully not ending up with it too icky mucky. Don't want that, don't want that, don't want that. But we might just want, see, that's going to look nice tucked into there. So let's just lift that off there. And then we can tuck that into there, because remember I've used gel medium, so that makes life easy, doesn't it? I don't know that I want the whole of that, so let's just chop that piece in two. This is just the ephemera that comes in with the collection, and just because it's all in one piece doesn't mean that's how it has to be used. Yeah, so let's just pop that piece underneath there. We might stick that piece, which we've just chopped off. So it's just tucked underneath there. So we've got 3 of those pieces of ephemera tucked in there. We might add some splatters, we might not. We might have to add some splatters. There we are. Excellent. There we are. So that's coming up there. So that hopefully was it. And we just need a title. Right, let's grab on the floor for the pieces. So these come from a very old collection. And what shall we have? The Music of My Heart, Dreamer of Dreams, Happiness and Love. There we are. With all my heart, heart and soul. What do we reckon? I'm going to go Dreamer of Dreams. And I'm just going to pop that, I think, tuck that into there. There we are. And if I shuffle that over, I can now just take a little bit of that and let's clear some of this mess. I was going to use some of the ephemera, but I'm not going to some of those. Let us put that in there before that is ruined. And then don't pick up the black spray bottle, because that wouldn't be prudent. There we are. So that's just, this is just some of that creamy acrylic. Here we are. So, ladies, we have a simple cover. We might add something to the back of that at another date. But very lacy, very vintagey, hopefully much light album cover. And I have a whole collection of inserts pre-made. Let me just pick them up. There we are. So some of these I did on my Facebook Live the other day. So that's fabric. Yes, I've had a fiddle, and I'm going to do some more page inserts on my own page on Sunday to fill the rest of these up. So that is all for now. I will set to thinking about an all-to-go Christmas project. Yeah, I know the two don't necessarily go together, but I have a plan for next week. And in the meantime, whatever you're doing, please stay safe, be kind to each other, and enjoy the rest of your week. Ta-da for now.